The United States announces funding will resume for the White Helmets, a group praised for saving lives in Syria. But as One America's Pearson explains, the so-called humanitarian group has a darker side.
The State Department has announced the United States will resume funding for the Syrian Civil Defense, also known as the White Helmets. The U.S. suspended funding for the group back in March over doubts about the accuracy of the group's reports on Syrian conflicts. However, in a statement from spokeswoman Heather Nauert, President Trump has authorized $6.6 million in financial aid to the group. The release says the U.S. strongly supports the White Helmets, claiming they have saved over 100,000 lives, as well as protecting civilians from, quote, Assad's chemical weapons attacks. However, numerous experts and eyewitnesses have pointed out the White Helmets are directly tied to, and in fact work with, terrorist groups, including Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra Front, and even the Islamic State. In dozens of cities across Syria, the White Helmets headquarters are directly connected to terrorist headquarters, with tunnels and paths linking the buildings. In the city of Zalmak, the White Helmets offices were next door to Al-Nusra Front headquarters, as well as a jail for prisoners of Al-Nusra, where civilians were kept in atrocious conditions, starved, beaten, and tortured. All happening right next door to these so-called humanitarian workers. In the town of Sakba, where residents were starving and had no electricity or running water, the White Helmets headquarters had a tank with 10,000 gallons of oil and receipts for hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales to terrorist groups. And in the same town, there were 2 tunnels connecting the White Helmets offices to not only a weapons factory, but also a laboratory for making chemical weapons. Residents report that the White Helmets refuse to help civilians and only work with terrorists, stockpiling supplies and hoarding food and water to give to militant fighters. It's also curious that White Helmets workers operate exclusively in terrorist-held areas, and when the terrorists are forced to flee, the White Helmets leave with them, moving to a new town and opening offices next to the militants. In all of Syria, there are no White Helmets operating in civilian areas or liberated territory. They only work in areas controlled by Islamic terrorists. The obvious question is why? If the White Helmets claim to support civilians, why are there no civilians who say they've been helped by the White Helmets? Yet this is the group the United States has begun funding once again, a group that spokeswoman Heather Nauert has repeatedly praised for their hard work.
We recognize and appreciate and are very grateful for all the work that the White Helmets continues to do on behalf of the people of their country and on behalf of the U.S. government and all the coalition forces. They're doing incredible work in rescuing. In some cases, in other cases, it's recovery efforts. They're an incredible group of individuals.
This incredible group of individuals has been seen waving guns and celebrating alongside terrorist fighters after defeating government forces, as well as transporting truckloads of beheaded Syrian soldiers. Investigations by One American News support these claims, and Syrians in Douma, the site of a staged chemical attack, clearly told us the White Helmets were directly working with terrorist forces. But President Trump has authorized U.S. tax dollars to once again support this group, giving aid to a group that hangs the flag of the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda from its offices in Aleppo. It's not certain how this money will be used, but one thing does seem clear. It won't be used to help the people of Syria. Pearson Sharp, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.